What's going on, y'all? So listen. What's going on, y'all? So we are back again for another episode review of The Shy. This is season 3, episode 8, I believe, Frunchroom. Okay. I'm just gonna say that this episode was a very heavy episode. It was dealing with the aftermath of Keisha, the whole episode, like what leading her to her healing and the aftermath of her being free from her kidnapper and her trying to adjust back to life in the real world with her family, okay, and try to get back to normal, which will never really happen for her. Um, I don't feel like I need to go over everything because, like I said, it just I get what the episode was trying to go through, and it was a very much needed episode because it wouldn't have felt right to me if they would have just went on ahead and continued on with the drama. Excuse me, with everybody else storyline because we've been so invested in what happened to Keisha, what happened to Keisha, what happened to Keisha, free Keisha, free Keisha, free Keisha, and now that she's free, it wouldn't have been right for them to just take the next episode to be everybody just going about their business and conducting everything without getting input on Keisha, and then, probably coming back in episode 9 to, get her input or whatever. But no, so this is exactly why they went on ahead and started it off like this. This whole episode was dedicated to her. As we saw when the episode first started off, Keisha and Dre and Nina are coming back from the hospital, and it hurt my heart to see that when they came into the house, Nina tried to touch her and she pulled back. I was like, oh, wow, okay. She's dealing with a whole bunch of PTSD, a whole bunch of trauma, a whole bunch of everything. You know what I'm saying? Flashbacks and all that. She goes in her room and, they trying to tell her that we left your room the same way that it was. And at this point, I'm sorry, I guess I'm just... At this point, they was trying to, she noticed that one of the pictures was out of place. She moved the picture, and Dre trying to explain what's going on or whatever. We was just cleaning up and all this stuff, and that's why stuff probably look a little different or whatever. We was just tightening up because you remember that Dre wanted to go ahead and get Nina to pack the stuff up, and Nina was in the process of trying to do that, but she couldn't, and when Nina and Dre left the room to get Keisha time to herself or whatever, Keisha made sure the windows was closed, made sure the door was locked, put the chair underneath the door, and got some scissors and sat there that whole day. Okay, probably the whole night. Keisha is going through it. In her mind, she's not truly free. After you've been through something so traumatic as that, you're not really free, and you can't expect somebody to snap out of it like that real quick. And I will say this. The whole episode, Dre was getting on my goddamn nerve, okay? She was getting on my nerves so bad. I don't know what it is, and I think this is reality for a lot of people in this situation, in any type of traumatic situation, where you have one person on this side that is like, give them time, give them time. You can't force the process. Let them deal with it the way that they need to deal with it. And you got the other people on this side like, we gotta push them along. We gotta, get them out, go ahead and get them help right away. We gotta, have them hurry up and get back into society and get back to normal and all that stuff. And that was Dre. Dre was irritating me throughout this whole episode because Dre is a counselor, but Dre is not well versed in these situations. You are a high school counselor or whatever, but you basically trying to make it seem like, much is not happening. It's not happening quick enough for you. What is the rush? And I understand that you want her to just go ahead and get back to herself, but she has to rest in that trauma. She has to realize that trauma. She has to come up out of it when she's ready to come up out of it. When somebody gone through some mess like that, you can't force them to hurry up and heal. The grieving process is a tricky thing, and it's different from everybody, okay? And especially for somebody that never been in it. She don't want to come out the room. At one point we see that it said 3 days later she was still up in that room. She's not eating. Of course Dre's in her feelings, and yet you got Nina saying just let her deal with it, let her flow, okay? If she wants to stay in a room, let her stay in a room at this point. Granted, I understand that Dre probably is, probably a little bit hype at this point, trying to force it or whatever, for the simple fact that the doctor did tell her, listen, you have to look out for certain signs, like suicide or whatever. And I get that, but, she could also be playing a part in pushing her to the edge, okay? And I understand that the family want normalcy, but you guys will never truly be normal until she's completely ready and completely healed. She finally goes into the bathroom. Kevin is upset because he just went into the bathroom, and it's like in Kevin's mind, they're tiptoeing around her, and he wants the normalcy back as well. Uh, he wanted to go out with his friends, and of course that didn't happen. He gets a little attitude. Um, Keisha, she goes in the bathroom, she's sitting in there, and she's just sitting in there. And at one point she comes out, she's vacuuming the floor, and we see this one particular part where she's just sitting in there in her room, and she's printing out multiple copies of articles about herself, about her kidnapper, in this whole situation. Okay? And once again we get to a part where I feel like Dre overstepped again, because there came a part in the episode where, Dre talking about we can't just sweep all this stuff under the rug, and, of course her and Nina gets into it again, and she was like, you can't tell me how to parent my child and how to feel with my kids, because these are my kids. Once again, that whole dynamic is getting disrupted between Dre and Nina, and it's playing issues out on them, because this is not the first time that Nina has said that to Dre. Dre wants to know, listen, so when in this marriage am I gonna ever, they're gonna ever be my kids? And Nina, she's just possessive at this point, because it's her motherly instinct, because she gave birth to that baby. Okay? She gave birth to that baby girl, and she don't want to see her baby girl going through what she's going through. Okay? It's that maternal mother bird type of issue that's going on at this point. And Dre, in her mind, Dre, you would never have that because you didn't have these kids. Okay? So at this moment, let me take care of this the way that I want to take care of it. I know how to go through this. And then we further find out the reason why Nina is acting the way that she's acting is because Nina has also been in a situation where she was sexually abused, where she was attacked, okay? And she had to tell Dre, have you ever been sexually abused? Have you ever been in a situation like this? You won't know what to do and how that feel and how to get out of it unless you was in it, okay? And Dre kind of understood, but she had to part her words of wisdom as well. But the part that really pissed me off about Dre was when she overstepped by inviting a friend. Okay, the girl been out in the free world from her captivity only for a few days, probably a week or so, whatever. It's still too soon for her to probably want to meet somebody and all that stuff. And you have to have different approaches, and this episode just showed different approaches to the matter. You know what I'm saying? This episode really wasn't a joking matter or anything. I feel for anybody that's going through, has gone through any type of trauma of this magnitude, because I wouldn't know how to feel, and I'm thankful that I didn't have to go through that. And it's just a lot. Dre, I felt like, again, like I was saying, overstepped by inviting her friend over. She invited Tammy over, okay? And Nina was upset, and I feel rightfully so. She was upset because, oh girl, Keisha didn't ask that. But I get that you have to slowly start putting stuff out there, and trying to get things back the way that it is. And you feel like, in Dre's mind, this probably will help her come out her shell a little bit. In her mind, she's probably thinking, what I'm doing is right, it's helping the situation. But in reality, it's not really helping the situation, and we found out that it wasn't, because Tammy goes in there, trying to act like everything is cool. Girl, we thought you was dead and everything, and she was like, no, I'm good. And I said, right when Tammy said that, I knew things was about to go downhill. Okay, so you talking about that, and you giving her the lowdown about what's going on. She doing her hair. First of all, I ain't trust Tammy when she was doing when she was doing Keisha hair. I said, girl, now, first of fucking all, you went and got that small little pick, hair comb. That's not the comb that we use when we about to you gotta use the big tooth comb, okay? You gotta use a thicker comb at this point in time. You see her hair, did you even ask if she washed the hair yet? And you just gonna start braiding it right then and there like that? I said, what type of messy ass braids that you was about to put up in her hair? Her hair mess as it is, okay? We trying to let her get some confidence about herself and let her feel good about herself, and you finna give her some raggedy ass cornrows? Tammy, get the hell about that, okay? Tammy made me mad at that. I said, first of all, wrong comb, bitch. Wrong comb. We ain't finna put no tracks in, bitch. Okay? Wrong comb. Bitch, where's the brush? Alright, brush that shit out. She didn't even try to comb it out first. She ain't try to brush it out, comb it out, or nothing. Girl, that shit boiled my skin. Okay? And then, she talking about how she broke up with her boyfriend, Derek, because he wanted a threesome. And she was like, bitch, I was down for it. I was down for it. But I wanted two niggas. He talking about some, I ain't gay or whatever. But you wanted me to fuck around with a bitch so that you can get your rocks off of, and I ain't gay either. Girl, I said, first of all, how old are you? Okay? How old are you? You're like 17, 18 years old. Like, come on. Y'all shouldn't even be talking about this shit at this point, okay? What is going on? And then Keisha brings up the fact she want to know what people were saying about her. And she was like, I'm talking about everybody that's out there. Like, give me the truth. The girl Tammy was like, well, they were saying that you was fucking around with Mr. Omari, and he got mad at you for breaking up with him, and so therefore he kidnapped you and did what he did to you. Okay, and then also, they were saying that, you kind of invited this whole shit to happen, and that you found out that some nigga was saying that he was really your daddy and all this stuff, and you brought this shit on yourself. And just the ignorant shit that people always say when stuff like this happen. People just can't have sympathy and empathy for a situation like this, and can't, give people their space. It always have to be an ignorant comment that's being said or whatever. And so Keisha also said, what about your ass? Okay, because Tammy, you didn't believe me. You don't believe my story or whatever, because you put up in the press talking about some you never know what's going on with these people and all this stuff or whatever, what's going on, I never know, and all this stuff. She was like, well, girl, you don't tell me nothing. She was like, bitch, I tell you everything. Okay. And so at this point they get into an argument. She told her to get out. They in there fighting. Keisha, Nina and Dre hearing this whole situation, and they get, she kicks her out. At this point, Keisha like, I can't wait to get out and go to college. This is another bomb that was been dropped on Keisha, which was the fact that her scholarship has gone to somebody else. She had a track scholarship, but she's been gone for over 2 months, and so they gave this track scholarship to somebody else. I said, wow. So that's another blow to her. So she goes in her room, she closed the door, and she looks at all her awards and her plaques and stuff on the wall, scholarship, academic awards and everything. And she just, once again, she lashes out. Okay. She knocks him off the room, off the wall, and she's, at this point, just over it, screaming and all that stuff. And it was something that I felt like she probably needed to do. She probably needs to get that scream out. She's closed off inside herself. And, at this point, Nina and Dre, they're not on the same page. Nina's sleeping on the couch. Kevin, he's upset at everything that's going on. He wants to get out there and kick it with his friends and let the friends come over. And Nina is so protective of Keisha at this point, to the point that she's almost, I'm not going to say smothering her, because Nina probably really don't know what she needs to do. She just needs to be a little bit more closer to Keisha. And at this point in time, she probably feel the guilt that, she wasn't there to be there to protect her baby the way that she's supposed to as a mother, so that's why she's probably smothering her, or it seemed like she's smothering her a little bit, but Keisha said, I don't care if Papa and them come over, you can have them come over, whatever. And so Keisha go up into her room after being up in the bathroom. She goes into the bathroom and she turns that shower on and she just let it run. I don't even think she took a shower, and so at this point, Papa and Jake was already at the door. So they go over there, and, he gets a little vape pen. They smoking weed up in the room, and, Papa, God is good all the time. I'm just glad that she's back. God answer prayers, and break Kevin was saying how much he was praying, and even Jake was being sympathetic or whatever. He wasn't being his assholey self, okay? And so, with the kids, they in there playing games, and you know, at one point, Jake asked about Gemma and Kevin. Did they have sex yet? And I know I heard them rich girls be putting out and all this stuff. And of course, they didn't have sex yet. Um, um, they just doing their little thing, okay? Papa don't want to smoke. They asking crazy questions because they have who invented the plane, and do Chinese people call Chinese food over there in China regular food or whatever, shit like that. Meanwhile, Emmett and Jada came over there, dropping off some food that Dom made, not Emmett, but Dom. And at this point, Emmett went to go talk to Jake, not Jake, but Kevin, to see if everything was okay with him, how he was doing, and see how Keisha was doing, and told them, like, if you gonna be smoking, I told you to use cologne, because that Febreze and that air freshener shit don't cover up the spray or whatever. Of course, he come to the door with his back to the door, because the last time that he opened up the door, he called Kevin up in there, having a session with himself. You know what I'm saying? And so at this point, they just wrapping up, and just making sure everything is cool with him. Um, Emmett is serious, I feel, about this role that he's taking on with Kevin. He already let us know he's no Brandon, but, I'm still going to be here and be that brotherly figure that you need, that big brother figure that you need. And so, they was trying to see how Keisha was, and of course Kevin was pissed off, or he was feeling some type of way, because he's tired of it. He's tired of it. And it was like, even Jake said, you would be messed up too if you was kidnapped and molested. And I wasn't expecting that from Jake. I was like, wow. Okay, Mr. Jacob, what's going on? You got a little sense up in there. All right. All right. Okay. And so, you got Jada and Nina and Dre out there talking, and Nina asking, have you ever dealt with something like this or whatever, treated somebody that was in Keisha's condition? And she was like, no, I've never treated somebody that's been through something like this, but I treated girls that's been through sexual assault, especially by a partner. And some of them, they lash out. Some of them, they keep it inside. You gotta, let them come on out when they ready. You got some that literally sit there and say, this is all because of, my boyfriend. He loves me. This is how he show his love. That's what it is. And so while they talking about this, at this point, Emmett comes out of the room, and he goes over there to Keisha's room, and he knocks on the door. Keisha comes out, he hugs her, and she lets him come into her room. Dre looking and gonna say, this nigga here. I said, what the fuck? First of all, that was kind of rude, because, his mama right there. Second of all, what is the issue? What is the issue? You're in your feelings at this point. I think at this point she just feels some type of way because everybody else is being let in except for Nina and Dre at this point. And Dre think that she's doing the right thing the way that her method is going, and it's not working. You can't force the process, okay? And so, at this point, you got Emmett and Keisha in there talking about what's been going on, and how she's been doing and what he's been going through, because she's tired of talking about stuff. And next thing she was like, what's been going on with you? What's been going on with you? He was like, I mean, it's all good. The business going good. I'm working with this chick named Don. I got my new restaurant finna come, taking over Sunny shit. Me and Tiffany, we good or whatever. She said, bitch, you lying. And it was like, what you talking about? It was like, the way that you said that I know you, you lying. Now, what happened? Okay, and she was like, listen, I used to date you, so I know it. All right, I said that was cute that she still knew. And Emmett, regardless of how much of a fuckboy Emmett is, Emmett do care. And he is the type of person that I'm not gonna say that you can come and talk to, but I guess in this case, Keisha felt easier to talk to him because he wasn't forcing her to say anything. And, he was treating her like normal in this situation. He wasn't like just saying, I wish I could have been there and all that stuff. He probably did say that, but he didn't let that dominate the conversation. He told her about Dom. He got her to come out there and eat, and that was surprising to everybody. And once she got out there eating the food or whatever, Kevin come out there and they having a conversation. And I forget how it started. But, next thing you know, Keisha snaps and she was like, what took y'all so long to come and find me? Okay? What took y'all so long to come and find me? You know what I'm saying? And at this point, they was like, we didn't know where you was at. We didn't know this. We didn't know that. And somehow Kevin got involved. I can't remember exactly how he got involved. Put it down in the comments. But Kevin snapped off too. And that is what's going on. You have to remember that everybody in this situation is hurting, but Keisha is probably hurting more, but everybody is hurting in this situation. That's his sister, okay? And not only that, he was worried about the sister and her being found, whether dead or alive. Didn't know what was going on about that situation. Next thing you know, as soon as we get, you can slowly see the attention running off of him, okay? And it's all being focused on Keisha, and it's like he got to suffer the brunt of it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so at this point, he's snapping off. He's been holding all this stuff in, plus he has hell. And so he's snapping off about, not giving a fuck and not being able to do stuff because of Keisha, and then coming at Keisha's throat talking about something. This probably was your fault because of the way that she was dressed, and I'm tired of, you being out there in the streets. I'm tired of taking up for you. All I ever did was took up for you and held your secrets and all this stuff. Boy, brothers and sisters do, And so at this point, he's getting mouthy. He's getting real disrespectful. And so Keisha is like, thinking about the shit. She feeling like, so is this my fault because of the way I was dressing and all this stuff? And that is one of the main freaking thing that people say, well, if she wasn't dressing like this, this wouldn't have happened and all this stuff. It be people that get raped out here that be fully clothed. You got people up in different countries where they're covered head to toe and they still get raped, the women. You know what I'm saying? So quit saying that. Dre and Jada had a little conversation because y'all know they was friends first. About this whole situation, and later on, after they had that, Keisha and not Keisha, yeah, Keisha and Nina. It's just a lot of hurt. Okay, Jada goes in there to talk to Keisha, and Keisha relates to her, and that's when she put it out there that, she went through what she went through, and she thinks about it every day. She thinks about it each and every day because she also was molested by a family member. She said you got to see that person when family comes. You got to think about it at a family function, at holidays and all this stuff. You never get over it because Keisha's whole thing is, how can I get back to feeling normal? And Jada had to put that truth out there. Baby girl, you're not going to ever feel normal. You're going to have to learn to deal with this and to try to go on with life. But as far as getting normal and stuff, no, that's not going to happen right away. And it's probably never going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And so you getting different people to come in and to actually relate to her and talk to her on the level that she is willing to understand outside of her family. And at one point, she had Ronnie come over there. You know what I'm saying? And thanking him for helping find her. And, you know, asking his experience, and he putting it out there too because he's been through some trauma. Jada been through, all the people that's been talking to her that is actually getting through to her has been through trauma. Okay, Jada been through trauma, Ronnie been through trauma, and they're still progressing somehow. We see the positive way of Jada when she said, after what she been through, that's the reason why she's went into social work, so that people who's gone through this stuff, they can feel like they have somebody to talk to and they don't have to hold it in. Whereas you got Ronnie, who's still dealing with the fact that, he took a life. He took a life, and his life did not turn out the way that he probably hoped and planned for. And he even told her, don't start drinking no alcohol to cope with your stuff, okay? Because look at me. And, because she even asked too, I killed him, right? I killed him. Why does it still feel, it don't feel no different? And you know, Ronnie had to tell him he's still dealing with what he's dealing with too. Okay. He was giving her words of encouragement to help her, you know, ease her mind a little bit, to think about stuff. And Nina and her had to have a conversation. Because at one point, you know, we see Keisha go in her room and she's taking all her clothes. I guess the clothes that I would deem to be the ones that basically put her body out there, whatever. And she take them, put them in a plastic bag, and go into the bathroom and left out that situation. I said, "Oh no." Oh no, may she rest in peace. I mean, it is what it is, but that's exactly what was happening. I mean, you was not, I wasn't the only one who was thinking it when I seen her put them clothes up in that tub and light that fire, right? Okay, left out was the first one that came to mind. You know, it's not being funny, but that's what came to mind. She poured that alcohol on them clothes and she lit that. I said, "Oh no, you're in an apartment building too, sweetie." Nina saw that smoke coming through and she was like, "What the hell is going on?" Okay, and she came in there and they had a little conversation. She was like, "I'm sorry that I wasn't there for you, and I didn't come as soon enough to find you, you know." And she was like, "It's okay. It's okay." You know, and realized that she needed to go to a therapist. Okay, because that's one of the things that Kevin told them. Kevin was like, when I went through what I went through, you know, with Coogee, seeing Coogee get shot, y'all made me go to a therapist. Why can't you make her go to a therapist? At this point, she's technically an adult because she's 18 years old. So you can't really make her do anything, but you were a child, you know, and you was doing this because, you know, it's the difference of situations. She has to want to talk. And I think that by her burning these clothes and even Nina telling her, regardless of what you wore, even if you would have went outside naked, that didn't garner you to be taken advantage of or whatever. It's not your fault, you know. And so she was ready. At the end of the episode, she was ready to take that step finally to actually go get some help. And the last thing that we seen was her and Nina and Dre. They're outside, and you know she's going on her way to therapy. That's just basically how the episode ended. Like I was surprised that I was able to get this much out of it because I could have just summed this whole episode up as Keisha was, you know, going through the motions of trying to get out of, you know, her PTSD and her trauma, and she's dealing with the grief of what happened to her and the fact that she had to kill her attacker or whatever. I could have summed this up in 5 minutes. I really could have. But, you know, it was, I think this was a good episode. It was a needed episode. Some of y'all probably will probably think different, but I think that it was needed. You guys tell me how you felt about it, and I will see you guys later. Peace.